Welcome back to the next section of Traefik Training. In this section, we're going to cover Traefik use cases and understand a little bit more about the product, the community, as well as the different Kubernetes offerings. So let's get started and look at the Traefik use cases. But first, let's look at the Traefik Stats. So it's great to understand, there's something behind a product, and that's great to see with Traefik. As you can see on their main web page, so containers.us, you can actually see that Traefik has 2 billion Docker Hub downloads. 2 billion, that's huge. It also has 30,000 stars in GitHub, as well as 500 contributors. Also, if you go to Docker Hub, so hub.docker.com, the main website of Docker Hub, you can see that Traefik is listed as one of the top 10 downloaded images from Docker. That gives us a sense of relief because there's a company behind this product, as well as a large community helping strive to bring this product further. So it's all good things when you're looking at open source projects, that there's a community behind it, there's documentation, and there's a lot of contributors, and it's kind of an active project as well. As you can see, it checks all those boxes. Now, some of the use cases for Traefik include, it's a reverse proxy. So as we mentioned before, it does routing and load balancing. Again, we'll cover this in future sections, but this is huge. Layer 4, layer 7, it handles the load balancing and routing for these levels of the TCP stack, as well as the API gateway. So we can actually control the routes to the different applications. We can do authentication. We can enable a lot of different middlewares to actually control how we're going to use Traefik and how we're going to manage the APIs that are behind Traefik as well. So we'll take a look at that as well. Load balancing, we'll look at round robin, least connected, also headers. We can control how the load balancing works. We can also have health checks to ensure that the status of the service is running and it's healthy. If it's not healthy, we'll take it out of the load balancing. And once it's healthy again, we'll add it back to the load balancing of Traefik. Very helpful. Next up is certificate management. And this is huge because I don't know if you've ever had to manage a bunch of SSL certificates, but it becomes a headache after a while. So Traefik comes with Let's Encrypt built in as default. So that means we can just add TLS to any application we want. It's automatically managed and everything is controlled for us by Traefik. So we just tell it, okay, we want this service to have Let's Encrypt certificates. And it handles the management, the renewals, and everything around the certificate management, which is really helpful. Now, if you imagine if you have 10, 20, 30 sites, URLs running, this saves you a lot of time and management overhead. And the final use case for Traefik is the Kubernetes Ingress. And Kubernetes Ingress, as you know, it actually is one of the most popular use cases for Traefik, but in this particular training, we're going to focus on Docker. So we're going to focus on the Docker provider and how we can use it. And we'll slowly continue evolving the training until we cover the configuration, we cover load balancing, API gateway, and we just go through all the different details of Traefik, and we enable everything as we go along. Now, to fully understand Traefik and the company behind it, Kubernetes, we need to understand some customers that actually use the product. So I'll cover just a couple of the customers, but you can see eBay, Bell, Mozilla, Apple, Expedia, and there's many more on their website. But these are public reference cases, and this is for their enterprise product. So for Traefik EE. So I'll cover that in the next slide, but you can see there's a lot of big names using Traefik, which is also a great sign that the company is doing well, that the product is also well received in the community. And I can vouch for Traefik as well with 56k.cloud. We've used it for local governments. We've used it for insurance type of brokers. We've used it for all sorts of different projects, as well as personal projects. So I have a lot of experience using Traefik. I can recommend it completely because it's a great product and it reduces the management overhead that we have to do with other proxies like Nginx or HA proxy. So it just brings a level of sanity to our management of this proxy. It just helps tremendously. Now, next, we can actually see some of Kubernetes products. And the first up is Traefik EE. Traefik EE is the enterprise version of Traefik. So this is actually a paid for version, and it includes support. It includes a bit of operations as well as high availability. So if you want to run like a cluster of Traefiks, I would really recommend looking at Traefik EE because that helps you build large enterprise type of clusters using Traefik as your ingress, routing, and load balancing. In this course, we're going to cover Traefik CE, so the community edition, the open source edition, but much of what we learn in the CE edition also applies to enterprise because they're very much similar. Now, the next product is Mesh, and that's the service mesh that Kubernetes has developed, and it basically simplifies networking and routing within your Kubernetes cluster. And finally is Traefik Pilot. This is a brand new program just announced. And what it is, it's a SaaS control platform for your Traefik CE. So when you log into your dashboard, you can actually access your dashboard from anywhere, and it also helps you manage your Traefik installation. It's quite a new project, brand new, so hopefully at the end of this course, we'll cover it when it gets a little bit more mature. All right, that's it for Traefik. Next section is all about Traefik background, so join me in the next section.